Today, we're diving into a really unique worldview, one that lays out this incredible, special mission for the Korean people. And according to the source, it's a mission that could literally reshape the future of humanity.
Okay, so the source material just jumps right in with this wow, an incredibly bold prediction. And we're not just talking about K-pop or K-dramas becoming more popular. No, this is a vision of a massive, fundamental shift in global culture, all centered on one language. And that immediately makes you wonder, right?
So, why Korean? What's the deal? Well, according to the speaker, it's got nothing to do with the usual stuff like economic power or military might. The idea here is that it's about filling this really deep global need, a need that he says no one else is even trying to address.
Okay, so before we get to the solution, we've got to understand the problem, right? And the core idea is pretty compelling. Modern society is basically drowning. We're drowning in information, but we're absolutely starved for real wisdom, for real meaning.
I mean, just think about it for a second. You can pull up a Harvard lecture from your couch, and AI can answer pretty much any factual question you have in a split second. Knowledge, it's become a commodity. It's everywhere. But, and this is the key, this philosophy argues that all this access has actually created a new kind of emptiness inside of us.
And this is where things get really interesting. You have to see this critical distinction the speaker makes between knowledge and truth. Knowledge, right, that's the raw data, the information, the what. But truth, well, truth here is something different. It's the wisdom of how to use all that knowledge, how to live a good, happy, correct life. It's the answer to those huge questions we all have.
So here's the crucial point, the big argument. The speaker says our major institutions, and yeah, that includes established religions, they've failed us. Why? Because they're just repeating old knowledge. They're not producing any new truths to help us with the new problems we're facing today. And because of that, people are just lost.
Okay, so if the whole world is starving for this truth, who's going to provide it? Well, this is where the philosophy points directly to the Korean people, assigning them this really specific and pretty grand role.
The term used is Hong-ik-ingin leader. It basically means a leader who benefits all of humanity. And look, this isn't just some fancy title. It's framed as an actual destiny, a kind of national calling to step up and solve the world's deep spiritual and existential crises.
And according to this view, every single person has a choice to make. You can either become a shining star, someone who creates cultural works, like films, art, teachings, stuff that acts like a guiding light for other people, or you can become what the source calls a dung star, basically just consumed by negativity, complaining, and contributing nothing of value. It's a pretty stark choice.
Okay, so how do you actually create this new truth? Well, the method for doing it is pretty radical. It basically throws out the entire established system of how we create culture today.
And this right here really gets to the heart of it. The argument is that the professionals, the people in Hollywood, the big media industries, they're just in it for the money. The speaker literally calls them cartels that just protect their own turf and block any new real ideas. So who's going to save us? The passionate amateurs, the people who create things not to get rich, but because they genuinely want to serve humanity.
Now there's a really important catch here. This isn't just about making funny videos or entertaining content. Sure, humor and fun can be tools to get the message across, but they're not the main goal. The ultimate purpose of all this new culture has to be providing real, genuine guidance. It has to help people figure out how to live better.
Okay, I know this all sounds very philosophical and abstract, but how do you actually start? Well, the source grounds this whole grand mission in something surprisingly physical and concrete.
And when I say specific, I mean incredibly specific. The speaker says that to even be considered a true Hong-ik-ingin leader, you have to, at a bare minimum, get a third-degree black belt, a third dan in Taekwondo. It's not a suggestion. It's laid out as a fundamental requirement.
But here's the twist. This isn't about hiding away and training in some private studio. No. This philosophy demands you take it public. Once you get that black belt, the instruction is to go out to public parks and practice your forms right there, out in the open. Just getting over the shyness of doing that is part of the training. The whole idea is to spark curiosity and kick off a grassroots movement right there in the community.
And this quote from the source really says it all, doesn't it? It's this deep belief that if you just sincerely go out and do this, people will naturally be drawn to it. That real leadership doesn't start with some big speech, but with a quiet, consistent public example. So you take all of this, the amateur creators, the public Taekwondo training, and you see how it all builds up to this truly massive vision. It's not just about individuals anymore.
It's about the entire nation's role on the world stage.
The ultimate goal here, the end game, is a society where culture is the main industry. But not just any culture, a culture specifically designed to guide and lift up all of humanity. It's a movement that's supposed to start small, in local communities, and then expand across the globe. The idea is to lead the world not with force, but by offering something so helpful and so good that the rest of the world just naturally wants to be a part of it.
So there you have it, a really ambitious vision that completely reimagines what culture is for. It's not just entertainment, it's the central tool for guiding humanity. And it leaves us with this one big thought-provoking question to chew on. What would our world actually look like if an entire nation decided its main purpose was to create truth for everyone else?